First of all, you look beautiful.
Where you started that.
You look beautiful in your mom jeans.
Yeah.
As always. You always look beautiful.
Thank you.
There's a guy named Rick Grokowski. Do you remember him?
You can't even say his last name right.
Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, I know
Big
that guy. Yes.
Big guy?
Yeah.
You know, beautiful
Tried
wife.
3 times to say Rick's last name correctly.
I can't say Grokowski. Something ski. Polatsky. Something Polak.
How many years has it been, Rick? I still have to look every time to make sure I'm spelling your last name correctly.
I have no idea how to spell his last name. But it's hard when you don't remember him. It's been a
mean
long
when you
time
don't
since he's hung out with us.
Oh, no, he was here for Easter.
No,
We
I
just
missed
saw him
him.
for Easter.
Rick, I'm only picking because
We do miss you, Rick.
I missed you, buddy, and we have a good one today because we have some real good friends in the room with us today. Brian Hart joined us today too. We haven't seen him in a little while.
Minute.
And yeah, he did. I like when he cuts his hair because he usually looks like mad scientist, but today he's looking pretty cool. No, we missed you, Rick, and
Rick, we
we're
gotta
glad to
find
have you
time to
back.
get together in the summer. Will you slow down a little in the summer?
Well,
Yeah,
us, we're.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are the ones.
I just looked at my schedule, and I'm like, holy moly, we got a lot going on.
Yeah, but in August, I think. Do you slow down a little? No, not after all.
I don't think so. September, we go nuts again.
Yeah.
That I do know. It's going to be a busy summer, busy summer, because Renae does not allow me to enjoy my home.
Oh,
It's impossible
No, that's
to
not
enjoy
true.
my casa.
That's not true.
Very excited about this episode. Don't know why.
Really?
Feeling good. Had a little Dayquil today, so maybe I'm a little
You're
cracked out.
On Dayquil. That's why
Little-
you feel good.
A little cracked out. I don't know. A little old salt coffee gets the blood going.
The kick.
So, yep.
I think it's because you mowed the lawn this weekend, and Tim says that's like your happy place.
It really is. I like being out there. I got a lot to do out there. I've got a lot going on out there. And yesterday I kind of didn't get to do all the things I wanted to do. So I'm hoping tomorrow's completely gone. But I am here this week. I'm very excited because
You're home for a whole week.
we're going to take another shot at a daddy-daughter dance.
Yeah. How lucky that it worked out that you are here for daddy-daughter dance.
God is good, baby.
I thought when it happened last year, I was like, we got to do it. We got to seize the moment because this may never happen again, that you are home for a daddy-daughter dance. And it just so happened that it worked out that way on the calendar.
I'm excited because the daddy-daughter dance... So, we're coming to the end of perfecting and getting this material ready to be filmed. So my brain automatically goes to, oh, crap.
You're excited about the material that you're going to get from the daddy-daughter dance.
No, I already got good material. So I'm already telling the story on stage.
Uh-huh.
At the end of my set, I'm like, hey, let me tell you guys this story, and I'm trying to work it out, very low pressure and just kind of hanging out with the crowd. But I will give you the gist of it as people can look forward to it. So last year, very lucky to be taking Miss Delilah Ray to a daddy-daughter dance. And oh my gosh, was I excited. I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I finally get this little girl to myself. It's just me and her.
Well, you made a big, we made a big deal out of it last year. You took her dress shopping. She wanted to wear a crown. She got new little high heel glitter shoes, and not high heel, but like a little heel on them and a matching little handbag. I think we even got her a little corsage. Like we went all out.
And I never dress up unless I'm going to a show. And I got dressed up and we did get a good picture for sure.
Yes.
Got a good picture. But I was laying up at night thinking about how this day was going to go. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to dance. We're going to sit together. We get there and this little girl ditches me.
You get to the school gym and she's gone.
Now here's what's scary. Okay, this is more podcast than bit. But what was scary was at that time, she had not been attending that school. We had just registered her.
She'd been accepted for the next school year, but they still invited those incoming girls to participate.
They were very sweet to invite us. So Delilah ditches me. She doesn't have any friends.
She doesn't know anyone.
She doesn't know anybody. So she still ditched me. Like she completely left. And then she's hanging out with the freaking, older girls.
Yeah.
Because Did
she find the troublemakers?
Oh my dude, she was gone. And then she puts me in line for cotton candy, and then she's like, let me know when you get it. I'm gonna go play. So like I'm with these other dads. I'm holding this purse. They're holding their kids. We're just sitting there sad,
Waiting in line for cotton candy.
waiting in line for cotton candy. And then my song to Delilah, which I highly recommend for daddy daughters, is "Cross My Heart" by George Strait.
Yes.
It is. I get so emotional because having a daughter has turned me into the biggest bitch. But the song comes on, and she actually comes running towards me.
Oh.
And she goes, I have to pee, I have to pee, I have to pee. And I'm like... So she goes and she pees. Then she doesn't want to leave. So now I've got... Because it's already a little later than normal for her.
Yeah.
Then I've got, like, disaster Delilah.
Meltdown status,
right? Turning into a pumpkin, literally. And I'm dragging her out of there. She doesn't want to leave. We get in the car. She passes out in the car, pisses herself. And then I have to hand her to Renae, and I'm outside cleaning piss in her car seat. The bit there is...
This year.
No.
Leave the dance.
I'm saying the comedy bit there is... I finally got my payback, and now I know what it must be like when me and you go to Vegas. Like, I picture in your head, you're like, finally, some time alone with my husband. What am I going to wear? It's going to be great. We're going to get to talk. We're going to get to
my
dance.
My handbag matches my shoes.
Yep.
I look so cute.
And then as soon as I get there, I'm like, later, bitch. I'm going to the craps table. And then at the end of the night, you're trying to drag me out of there, and I don't want to leave. Mm-hmm. And then I piss myself. So it is exactly...
Very similar?
It's very similar to that. I will tell you, Rick, you having boys... Gosh, dude, having a daughter and Brian too. Brian has boys. It's different. God, it's different. And I'm not throwing this in Brian and Rick's face, but I feel so honored and lucky to have a daughter.
Yeah.
Because it is a. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the love a man has for his boys, like it but it's so different. It is such a different thing.
Yeah.
And I can't even explain it. And on stage, when I talk about, Delilah and the act, and I talk about, how I treat her differently, I literally say, I can only talk to those of you men that have daughters.
Yeah.
Because it's different.
But I think when you say that, like, I think of the times that, like, Delilah only wants you. Like, it is definitely a different kind of, there are times that she will only want you. And Garrett was like that. I think boys have that with their moms.
Well, there's a cuddle factor.
I mean, I was about to say, there's a different tenderness that comes in my relationship with Garrett. And it's sort of similar to your relationship with Delilah.
You that you'll coddle him a little more, and that when he's emotional and he needs those special hugs, that you're kind of that.
I don't say suck it up, sissy.
Well, dude, Delilah and I had gotten back from horseback riding, and I get out and I go, "Don't forget your bag, baby," and she goes, "You do it," and I just did it. I literally, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, what the fuck? Because had Garrett said, you do it, I would have been like, dude, I would have thrown him through the wall. Like, Garrett would have literally been thrown 50 feet had he said, you do. And the way she said it, like, you do it. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. So I'm very excited that this weekend I get to be with my daughter. And look, man, and maybe I'm going to start some shit right now, but girls and boys, they're just different.
Yeah.
They're just different. Delilah is so different than Garrett.
Yeah.
They're just different. She's such in a girly way, in a boy.
Not even in girly and masculine. Like, they are such different children.
I'm just talking about girly and masculine.
Oh, I'm talking about the way their brain works.
Oh,
is
100%.
Different. The way their senses of humor is different.
It's very different. And I think the biggest challenge that we're starting to notice and have is that Garrett is so involved with sports that it really takes up a lot of our energy. and not on purpose. And Delilah's just not there in sports. So Delilah is seen like, oh, we go to Garrett's thing. We're all going to Garrett's thing. So I think there's a little bit of like, ugh, Garrett, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that we don't want to support her. It's just that she doesn't have anything going on, right?
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. She does have things going on. She's in swim. She rides horses. She's in dance. She's in gymnastics. But she hasn't had meets. There's no meets. There's no...
Yeah. She's not old enough for swim team yet.
She's not on swim team. She's not on the gymnastics meets yet.
Yeah.
You know, by the way, does she have gymnastics tonight?
No. Yes.
Today's Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know, this weekend she did have a dance recital, which, oh my gosh, talk about Renee's Mother's Day. Dude, it was, I landed, we hauled ass to Delilah's dance recital.
Yes.
I watched Delilah dance. I jumped out of the auditorium. I watched Garrett's first game. Then I went back in to watch her dance. And then I had to haul ass to coach.
When you say you watched his game, you're doing this because you watched it on your phone.
On Game Changer.
In the lobby of the auditorium.
Yeah, on the Game Changer.
Yeah.
It was nuts. I mean, and then poor Renae, you know, hauling ass after, because I had to leave a little bit earlier. She had to wait to do the flowers and the whole thing.
The finale.
The finale. And then I hauled ass to baseball. So, I mean, we were literally like, trying to make it all freaking work on Mother's Day. And poor Renae, you know, I got to give it up for Lexi and her. She's so thoughtful.
Yeah.
She did some really cool Mother's Day shirts for
Those
the boys.
shirts were so awesome. I love them so much.
But Renae had no idea. So then she showed up in a dress.
Yeah.
So she couldn't wear the mommy shirt. But Renae didn't know because it was going to be a surprise. So it was definitely one of those Mother's Days that for those of you listening and you're a new mom, enjoy the new mom Mother's Days.
The ones when they're quiet and contained and they're little and you
and
just
you're not
hold them.
literally like caught in the middle of life. What did you guys do, Rick, for Mother's Day?
Was Caden's birthday on Mother's Day, so...
He stole Mother's Day?
But it doesn't always fall like that every year, right? Yeah,
Not
because
every
Mother's
year,
Day
correct.
moves around.
Right. So you guys did a combo birthday. So that's a real mom. I guarantee you she made it about him and his birthday.
Yes, for sure.
You know.
And he made it about him.
Of course, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I mean, what's the alternative? Like, I think about it. What would be the alternative? I mean, I could have stayed, and baseball was like, and we were what, an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes in the car to get to baseball and back. But like, I could have hung back and not gone to baseball and let you handle baseball. But then I was sitting at home by myself, not with my family. Like, I want to be at the baseball field cheering my son.
And then in 2 days from now,
she's
she's going to say, I just wish I had a day to myself. Well, you had one and you chose not to have it.
No. I mean, like, on a day that it makes sense, not when I'm missing out on living life with my kids and my family.
I will say that a lot of growth in Renae because, you know, normally she would have thrown a fit that it wasn't all about her. But she was very amazing and classy, and we love you for that. And thank you for being an amazing mom.
I wouldn't have thrown a fit that it was all about
to
me.
all the moms out there, thank you for being amazing mothers and much respect. And Brian actually, literally right before we walked into sit down, Brian was talking about his wife and her Mother's Day and just kind of having a day with the family where it's not about the gifts. It's just about, can we just hang out together?
Spend time. Yeah. Well, and especially right now, I think it's even like just a slowdown. Like, let's all get together. Let's do something nice. Let's eat at a leisurely pace where we're not shoving food in our face because we've got to be at this practice, or, you know, just like, can we just sit and have my meal? And I don't think I even want to go to like a restaurant, you know?
You don't want to go to a restaurant.
Let's just pick up food so I don't have to cook.
My dumb ass, Saturday morning, I woke up in Columbus, Ohio, and I was like, man, there's a really cool breakfast spot that I could walk to. I'm going to walk over there. I walk over there, and there's a line of mothers with their kids out the door. And
Mother's Day brunch is a big thing.
Saturday, though.
Oh, the day before.
I didn't even think. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I bet you a lot of people are taking mom out for breakfast Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Right? So, but Columbus was great. Had a lot of fun. I was laughing. I went to the casino Thursday. Won some monies.
There's a casino in Columbus?
Yeah. And what best part about it is nobody was there. Nobody gave a shit.
No moms at the casino?
Nobody at the casino.
No.
Kyle and I went and hung out, had some drinks. I won a lot.
Yeah.
This one guy, years ago, I guess I hung out with him, but I was laughing because he came up to me and he was like, dude, one of the craziest nights of my life was with you. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, man, we went to the casino and we drank and we played craps till 4 a.m. It was crazy. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh my God,
I do that every weekend.
Yeah.
I do that every
That's
weekend.
a regular Saturday night.
But it was fun. And
we did the rodeo too. It was like the end of your crazy week. You survived it. Because you were bracing yourself for having a nutty week.
I'm very happy. I did some self-hypnosis and I hypnotized myself to feel like the Columbus weekend would go by fast.
Uh-huh.
And it did. So
well, I mean, speaking of Mother's Day for you, I don't know. That felt like such a long day. And I didn't have a flight at the beginning of it like you did. I can't imagine. I don't know how you got through Sunday. We got home and I was like, how are you not wiped out? Like, how are you not just letting me do bedtime with the kids and you passing out?
That's what I was again, going back to working with Garrett on mental game, right?
Yeah.
As an adult and especially as a man, there's days that you are tired and that you are beat and you have to have a strong enough mental game to get through days that are hard when you're tired and succeed and not let people know that you're tired.
I mean, it was such a long day. We were pulling kids out of the car asleep and transferring them to bed.
It was a long one. But Garrett in the championship game, and not only Garrett, the whole team, they were just spent.
They were little zombies.
And Garrett was very emotional, and I couldn't get his mental game together, and his head's down, and we ended up losing in the championship when we literally just beat one of the really, really good teams around to go to the championship. The team that we beat to go to the championship was predicted to win the championship because they win a lot of championships.
Yeah.
But we took them down, a lot of energy, ready to go. And then the next one, and so on the way home, Garrett, again started to kind of tear up, and he's like, "You're mad at me?" And I said, "Buddy, I'm not." And he goes, "My mental game, and I know I didn't do good." And I said, "Buddy," we're all allowed to have a bad day. I said, but I have noticed a lot of progress, and you've done a lot over this past several months of having a better mental game. And I said, and today you just couldn't get through it. I said, however, I'm older than you and I've had more time to be better at it and practice at it. And I go, yeah. You just got to practice. I tried, Dad. I tried to get out of my head. And I go, I saw it. I mean, I did see him. And to be honest with you, the rally that we almost got going, Garrett started it and he kind of got the team kind of pumped up again.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't get out of it. And we've all been in that day.
You have to remember they're 9.
They're 9.
We're talking about 9-year-olds, and I literally felt like it was something I see with Delilah when she's so tired, she can't control herself anymore.
I know somebody just like that.
Like the only solution.
I know somebody just like that.
Shut your mouth.
I do, Renae. You're the same.
Shut your mouth.
Let me tell you the things that
you are the worst today. You compliment me and then you shit on me.
Let me tell you the things.
Compliment me and then you shit on me.
And maybe this is the same for you or your wife. Hungry, if Renee's hungry, I have problems. If Renee's tired, I have problems. If Renee is inconvenienced, I have problems. Let's go to Rick first. Rick, do you have the same issues?
I can literally be like, you can go hours and hours without eating. I can feel my blood sugar dropping. Like I'm literally doing this. And you're like,
mental
and you're like, no,
game.
Let's keep driving. We don't need food. Let's keep going. Meanwhile, I'm like passing out in the front seat.
Mental game. Which again, I didn't eat, remember, until almost 6 o'clock when you brought Whataburger.
Yeah.
Mental game. So let's go to let's go to Rick first. Rick, out of those 3, which ones are a problem with Gigi? Let me go ahead and list them again. Hungry, we have problems. Inconvenienced, we have problems. Tired, we have problems. Which one of those 3 do apply?
You have phrased this question. You are such a jerk.
I can only pick one.
Oh, which one?
We'll go with hungry.
Oh, well, she's hungry. Brian, which of those 3 becomes a problem?
I think tired.
Tired?
Because then Les sort of feels, she gets bummed out that she's not on on her game when she's tired.
And then it goes down.
So she doesn't like come at me.
But either one of you, if she's inconvenienced, no problems?
No.
No, Les is
Really?
She just flows with stuff.
So y'all get one each, and I have all three? Shit. That's why. And those of you that go, she does not look like a Captain Evil. There you go. That should answer your question. Those three things, and I am fucked.
But
I'm in trouble.
Does Renae agree with the inconvenience?
Does
Wait,
Renae
wait a
agree?
second. No, listen, I feel like moms, if we're talking about being a mom, I feel like moms are tour directors on a cruise ship. And I feel like I am constantly maneuvering
Renae writing bits?
and navigating.
That's a comedy bit.
I am constantly maneuvering and navigating to keep this one hungry so she's not temperamental, Delilah.
Fed.
To make sure that Garrett is where he needs to be at a certain time, but I don't have a screaming child throwing a fit on the floor. Like, as a mom, you're constantly doing this. And then you, as you refer to yourself, my third child, come in and throw a wrench on things when I've got everybody perfectly balanced. So yes, I get annoyed with you.
I get annoyed with the fact
When
that
you
Renae,
throw a monkey wrench on things and you want to say I'm inconvenient.
that Renae and moms in general think that they're the only ones concerned about their children. I am also concerned about my children.
I know.
I'm also concerned
let's
that my
be honest.
daughter's being fed and my son is
You're
being
not
fed.
packing a bag for the baseball tournament to make sure Delilah has her crayons and her silly putty.
Okay, well, let's be honest.
And 3 change
You're
of
not
clothes.
loading that bag in the
and-
back of the car.
I am. You're
not
traveling
making
on the
sure.
weekends.
No, but when I'm home, I'm saying, who's putting the
When you
wagon
do
in
it,
the
you
car?
help. Thank you. I appreciate the hand.
Such bullshit. Oh my god!
You don't know you're going to start a fight this episode.
You started the
I
fight.
didn't know you were going to start a fight this episode.
These
I should have
moms.
known.
I'm so tired of thinking for everybody and doing everything.
That is not what I said. You shit on me making it about inconvenience, and I said it is not about inconvenience. I am constantly adjusting for these two
Dude,
children
when I
and
do it
you,
solo,
my grown child.
when I do it solo, I have zero problems.
It is rare that you do it solo.
I do it all the time solo.
Really? In the morning?
Every night.
Every
night I go solo. Always a dick joke.
No. In the mornings when you drive them to school, you have the two of them by yourself and you say, everybody load up. But I have to come.
No, I say
and
load
put
them up,
I have to
move them out.
Yes, and I have to come and I have to put the seatbelt on Delilah while you sit in the front seat like the captain just waiting to pull out. Is it really that hard for you to
Another joke?
buckle
Pull
her
out?
up? Oh my gosh.
Come on, guy. She's
Oh
going to
my
set me up.
gosh.
Okay. With that being said.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that do everything.
Yes.
Everything. Well, I don't even know how my husband lived before me. How did he survive?
How did you survive?
Very comfortably. Very comfortably. All right. With that being said, we did talk to Rick because we missed him. Last episode was an episode that, as we were talking about it, I thought, man, Rick would have really added a lot to that conversation.
We flew solo last week, right? Because we had to do it before we left for the rodeo. We were on early.
That's why I was saying that we missed Rick and that Rick wasn't there and that he doesn't love us and all that stuff. So I would like to give Rick an opportunity to revisit last episode if he likes, or ask a question to the Stephen Captain Evil podcast. And Rick, I would like to set it up one day to go live, and where I could have Brian here helping us, and we can go through questions and comments as we kind of set it up to go live.
Yeah.
In the near future. So
Okay.
Yep. Okay,
I
Rick,
would
fire
love
away.
to do a live. I would
What-
love to do a live. That would be great. Well, so I have a bunch of different topics. I'm gonna let you guys choose a topic. You guys ready to hear the topics?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I'll ask a question either on parenting, comedy, miscellaneous, podcasts, how to start a fight, or fan DMs.
I'll let Brian decide. Which one do you want to hear, Brian?
I love these categories.
It's good
That's
categories.
so good. Yeah.
It almost goes back to pardon the bitching.
Yeah. Choose a category.
Yeah, which category
For
would you
15
like?
points.
Well, we've talked about this a lot before, even with the stand-up too. I love the how to start a fight.
Oh, how to start a fight. Now, what kind of fight are we
I
talking
think
about?
we just gave an example on this episode.
I think with you guys, it's just saying hi to each other.
Yeah. Well, no, dude. I'll tell you right now what will start a fight. If I tell Renae something that hurt my feelings, that'll start a fight. All I got to do is go, hey, when you did this, it hurt my feelings. And then it's like, well, let me tell you what kind of a piece of shit you are. How dare you tell me about your feelings?
You know how to start
That'll
a
start a
fight?
fight.
When Steve does a voice where he pretends like he's acting like me, but it sounds nothing like me. That's
Nothing
a really
like
good
me.
way to start a fight.
That's a good way to start a fight. I sound exactly like her. Exactly like her. Is that the kind of fight you were talking about? Like how to start a fight within your relationship?
Well, I have actual questions.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I put these in, and by the way, that was the last one forever. You know, if I'm not wanting to be on the podcast or something, I would just lob a grenade at you guys, and then we could just trash the episode.
Yeah.
All right, here's one that could have started a fight, but it's an update. Where are you guys on? Where are you guys at with the slide, the pool slide?
Dude, you know, I've already given up. It was I read the comments, as many as I could.
Were there slide emojis?
Well, so you know, a lot of people were like, "Look, you only live once. Who cares? Let the kids have fun."
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of you know, Karens like you that were like, "No, I agree with Renae. Aesthetically speaking." So look, I've given up, Rick, and I've already learned in my life that I am a defeated dog. You know, like when you beat a dog. And that dog just goes, you know, it's not worth it because I'm gonna get beat again.
I'll take the beat dog to Schlitterbahn to ride really fun, tall, big slides.
I'm done fighting for the slide, buddy, and it's not worth it. Just like, you know, I learned my lesson with the big TV in the room and with the comfortable furniture in the patio. It was hell, and I lost, and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I don't remember the last time I have sat in that patio to watch anything. So it's not worth fighting. Your turn.
What was the question? I'll take your Schlitterbahn. We'll ride big slides. We'll ride real big slides. Me, you, and the kids for Father's Day.
That's where we at. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Rick.
Do you want to switch topics, or do we want to really get into fighting?
Let's get one more fight.
All right. What's one habit you guys would switch from each other?
One habit? What do you mean? Like,
Something you get annoyed by with the other person?
oh, I annoy Renae all the time. Gosh, I would say, and we're probably gonna start a fight. Renae, what I wish that Renae would change is that what you're asking?
Sure.
She doesn't finish projects. She starts things, and then I'm not allowed to help her because she doesn't like the way I do things, and she doesn't follow through with all the way finishing. So now your turn to tell me before we fight, before you defend yourself, and we just fight.
Probably that you're dismissive.
Ooh, explain more.
Especially when I and it just even like logistical, like family things. Like if I come to you with questions and you are not in the mental capacity to deal with them, or you're I don't know, you want to go mow the lawn or something, you put things off. You put things off and you're like dismissive, or if I have a question and you shut it down, like that's annoying.
We'll address those later. Yes, Brian.
I've got one that's, you might have to think back on this. When was the last time you had some people over, a party or whatever, a bunch of people over, you knew that one of you had said something or done something that you were going to talk about later after everyone was gone?
Oh yeah, like we held it. We kept it. We kept the shit show together in front of the guests, and then when the
Renae
guests
always
left, we let it fly.
Sometimes I don't even know I'm in trouble. And then like we'll get to the hotel room or whatever, and Renae will be like, "Can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "Oh shit." And I think I talked about that on I Speak Wife, where at least Renae is classy enough of a woman that if I do something fucking stupid, she won't like fight with me in front of people. She'll wait to be like, come here, let me talk to you.
It's usually a verbal slip up. Like when in those instances, I feel like that it's usually a verbal slip up because you were given such leeway with what you can say and how you can behave. And so it's usually like, dude, I don't care if you're a comedian, you crossed the line or that was inappropriate.
I've had those. I've had those. And I will say like, Renae is very like schedule. If we're having a party or people over and I skip something that she wanted to do, oh, motherfucker.
I thought we passed this question.
It's
why are you going here? What is this the
same
answer
question.
to? Oh.
To Brian's. Like where we're having a party, we're having an event. I totally skipped her fucking charcuterie board that was supposed to come out, and then all of a sudden because Renae is very, if you change her schedule and her plan, I'm fucked. So I add that one to the list also. También. Okay. Let's change topics.
I think we need a different category. Keep the Trevino's married
Hold on,
category.
what's that?
I just picked the start of the fight one. That was Brian, so blame him.
Yes, Brian did pick the start of the fight.
You guys want to do a parenting question?
I love parenting questions, yes.
All right. One thing you guys said you would never do and ended up doing it. Like for us, it was the podcast. Or the iPad.
Yeah.
Especially at dinner.
That's a tough
at
one. I
dinner.
mean, we fight that one as well. But you go ahead. Do you think it's something you'd say you'd never do?
Well, no, I mean, I think that's one where you and I disagree on a lot of times especially with Delilah. We were pretty good about it with Garrett. No phone, like when we're out to dinner with other people. And with Delilah, we find ourselves in so many situations where before a show, we're entertaining people before dinner. And you'll be like, just give her your phone. And it
is getting better, but there are moments where I'm just like, we really need to settle her down. So, but yeah, the tablet one's a big one for us. And as a parent, I'm trying to think. I don't do it, but I cross the line a little bit on giving Garrett things that I feel that might spoil him. I try very hard to make him earn everything. And I have found myself like, I would never do that. Like I would, for example, I would never buy him an Xbox just to buy him an Xbox, right? Like he needs, and that just happened. He needs to earn it, or he needs to work for it, or he needs to find a way. However, it did kind of work out. His Xbox shit the bed. I mean, it was an Xbox.
Yours. It was someone gifted you
it was an Xbox
years ago.
that I've had for years. Shit the bed, didn't work anymore. And his little buddy came over, and they weren't able to play. He was very bummed out. But it kind of worked out because I'm very proud to say that Garrett scored the highest in third grade for his aptitude test. So it kind of worked out that I was able to go to Garrett and go, hey, we're going to replace the Xbox. And then I was able to when I really just fucking bought it. But
we told him it was a gift for having a really great school year.
I angled it like, hey, you've been really good at school. I mean, and we can talk about that for a moment. Like, I was not good in school. So I'm so proud to have a child. And I was very worried that I was going to have a dyslexic child. I was very worried that I was going to have a child that struggled in school like I did. So to have Garrett not only a high achiever, but to literally get the top score in the third grade, I'm just like, wow. It really blows my mind. I mean, not the fifth score, not top 50%, like the top score.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I also kind of feel like he's a good kid.
Yeah.
Like I think we're doing a good job. If I just buy him a fucking Xbox, I'll just lie to him and tell him that it was because he scored high on the video. When I really was just like, fuck it, I'm buying him an Xbox.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one, Rick. And I think as parents, communication is the key, right? And I think if I just bought it and it came and he was like, oh, thanks, Dad. It's the moments that I spend with him in the car explaining to him, hey, I got you this because I've noticed that you've been working hard on your mental game. I'm so damn proud of you that you scored the highest on the aptitude test.
Yeah.
You know, and make it about that versus just, I think a lot of parents are just not as verbal as I am. So kids are picking up their own mental signal instead of me feeding him, this is why you were able to get another Xbox.
The thoughts, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. The other one for me is food. Like, it was so much easier to, like, I just think as a parent, we talk about this, like, they didn't ever teach us about healthy eating habits or encouraging healthy eating habits. You know, I feel like that wasn't even on my radar until I went to college.
Eat a sandwich and chips. and that sandwich had white bread, fake cheese, processed meat.
Yeah.
And the chips were Doritos, sour cream and onion, Cheetos.
Yeah.
And in our home, we don't even have chips in our house.
Every time your parents come to visit, they go buy a loaf of bread because our kids don't even really eat loaf of bread.
But even so, that's what's even crazier. I'm glad you brought that up. You know, Renae and I talk about like teaching our kids better eating habits, and we still don't.
I know. Well, that's what I was saying. That's the one thing where you're like, what's one of the things, Rick's question, to go back to his question is, I said, like, I will be better about food and, you know, staying on top of it and being stringent. Well, not stringent. I don't know if that's the right word, but like really, you know, helping my children form healthy habits. And I feel like we did it with Garrett when he was little. It was easier when we lived in California. Like, a kid's menu in California is very different than a kid's menu at a restaurant in Texas.
That's one thing I do like about California. A couple things that California does that I think we should all be more responsible about. We should all have a recycle bin, right? We don't do that here.
Yeah.
It was mandatory there.
Yeah.
Right. And having the calories on the menu.
It's so helpful in making a decision.
Was really helpful.
We have them now. Like, your bigger chain restaurants do.
Some do.
But a kid's menu there is very different. There's quinoa on a kid's menu there.
But
even
though Renae and I have tried very desperately to eat better and be better, it's so crazy that we're not. And the sad part is that, and RFK Jr. has been really talking about this. There's so many foods in America that we eat that are literally banned in other countries.
Oh, the one I just learned about recently, because like you said, he's been talking about the food dyes and stuff. Rick, did you know that pickles have dye in them?
No.
There's yellow food dye in pickles.
So now we're buying the organic pickles, and the juice that they sit in is almost translucent.
Yeah. Or they use turmeric, I think, some pickles now. But I wanted to make tuna salad the other day, and we have a huge grocery store with lots of options. It was so hard to find relish, dill pickle relish, that didn't have dye in it. There was only one option I was able to find.
It is kind of sad, and you know, when you look at somebody like RFK Jr. who is really trying to make a difference and to change our foods and really go to these people and say, we should not be allowing, I mean, you know, they were talking about cereal. There's literally not a cereal out there that is healthy. And here you go, oh, well, I guess if you get, you know, Cheerios, or if you get,
they say American cereal is the worst.
American cereal is worse, and it's a shame.
Why do I keep seeing dogs in our yard? I saw a German Shepherd, and now I just saw a dude I don't know with another dog.
The sprinkler system guys here. But you know, that's a good question, Rick, and it is hard as a parent sometimes, and I think it is true when people say never say never.
I'm curious, Rick. Right? Do you have one?
He already had on the tablet.
Oh, yeah.
Any other ones?
But also, I think food is a big one, and exactly what you guys just said. Spoiling the kids. Like, it's just like you got to create a reason to give them something because you already bought it.
Yeah, because our kids have
not
everything.
Only that, like, I want to be comfortable.
Right.
And because I want to be comfortable,
we're in the lounge.
Yeah, they get the shrapnel of the comfortableness.
That's a great way to put it.
You know, and they get to be around it, and so it's really hard not to spoil your kids. And you know, Garrett has now, I've added more work to Garrett's mandatory list. Renae and I were talking about it yesterday, having goats and chickens and making them responsible for those goats and chickens is a good add-on to them because there's a life involved, right? If they don't feed the goats or if they don't, there's another life involved. So
I worry about that too, like with hotel rooms, like, because we're going and we're staying at the nice hotel rooms with you. If Garrett goes with a friend, like I like prep him, like, don't say this and, like, don't complain about this. And just so you're aware, this is not normal. This is normal.
I mean, but again, it goes back to communication, right? And like you said, coming up for those reasons for them. And I also explain to Garrett all the time, all this stuff is mine. And my dad used to always say that. My dad would go, I have money.
Yeah.
And my dad would go, I am obligated to put a roof over your head, to feed your belly, to make sure the lights are on.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, that's my only obligation. And I don't have to put on expensive shoes on your feet. I don't have to put on expensive jeans on your body. I have to put on shoes, and those are my obligations. Everything over and above is over and above.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Right. And I really try to put that into Garrett. And even though Garrett, I mean, that kid, man, and Delilah's been so good with the goats. We call her the goat whisperer. She goes out there and she feeds them and she's petting them. And we're trying to make sure that Delilah's growing up the same way. Garrett will go out there and he'll cut the neighbor's yard. And I was so proud of him because he missed a week and he went over there and I go, where are you going? He goes, I got to tell Mr. Mike that I'm not going to be able to get to it this week, but I'm going to do it. Right. So, Garrett's very good at that and earning. And we are very strict about what kind of clothes he wears. And, right now this baseball swag is a big deal. These ice cream this, ice cream that.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. The only time we bought it was for Easter, for, special occasions. I do not let him have the fancy haircuts. He's going to get a little boy trimmed, tight haircut. That's it.
Yeah.
As he gets older, if he wants to have a little longer hair, that's okay.
I was going to say, I think a little self-expression is okay and important.
And I'm not mad at parents that put the stuff on their kids, but the baseball mullet or the lightning bolts in the side of the head, that's not happening for us. And I try to explain to Garrett all the time. Clothes,
I don't know. I know clothes don't make the man.
A man makes the man.
I completely agree with that, but I think a little self-expression is healthy, especially when you are a kid like Garrett who does follow the rules. That is an easy way for them to do something a little on the edge, a little different, and not not go crazy. That was like me. Like I made crazy, silly fashion choices, but I was making straight A's and I was studying all the time and following all the rules.
I feel like we have done that with this ice cream crap. I think we have done that with the elbow guard. So I do give a little.
Oh my God, the kid wears an elbow guard to protect his elbow when he bats.
So I do give a little leeway there of like, okay, man, I want you to have some cool stuff too. Yeah. I bought him some cool shoes that he wanted. When normally I would buy him the cheapy cleats. And this year he was like, Dad, I really want these really cool turf shoes. And I got them for him because. I also don't want him to be the prude, not cool kid. I want him to be, but I also don't want him to have the wild haircuts and so it's a tough one. Last question, sir.
Does Garrett go to other kids' parties? Like birthday parties and stuff?
Yes.
Yes, but they're so few and far between because we miss so much. Either we're traveling or he's playing baseball. So honestly, he did go to a birthday party, but it was like same thing. It was a boy on the baseball team and the mom was like last minute trying to figure out when she was going to do it.
So do you guys... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just say Garrett's at the age where it's no longer the big party. It's like, hey, 5 boys are going to Top Golf, or hey, we want to go do laser tag or ride go-karts, and it's just 5 of them. So they're not doing the big parties, and as for spending the night at somebody else's house, we're a no-go.
Yeah.
We are very strict, and I think that maybe a family or 2 at this point that we would let Garrett do that.
Yeah.
But spending the night scares me.
Me too. Me too.
Especially if I don't know.
And he has a little anxiety about it as well, which might be he might have gotten from us.
Yep.
But yeah.
Do you guys have a limit on? He'll show up with a gift, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you guys have a limit, and what is that limit on what you guys will spend on the gift?
Well, two things. Captain Evil here has gotten very smart. She has a drawer full of happy birthday cards, happy birthday bags, and then she will buy random boy toys, random girl toys at a certain limit for that last minute, oh crap, we're going to a party, we need a gift.
Or also our kids are gifted so much. I hate to say this, that I hide stuff. And then when Delilah has done something and needs a little reward, I'll pull something out for her. Or if, we're traveling and I want them to have a little new something to entertain themselves, I'll pull it out from there. So I just have a small stash. It's not a big stash.
But, I will say that Garrett has impressed me a lot of times where he's been very thoughtful. Where he goes, I know that my friend so-and-so really needs batting gloves or needs this, or can we do this because I know my friend, needs it or wants it or deserves it. And I'm very proud in the fact that I can say that Garrett is very giving and very thoughtful and does not, I had a friend of mine, and I got to give him a shout out, even though it pains me. So I have to separate the two. I have a friend that works for Marucci Corporate. Okay. We're not talking about the evil human beings at the other place here in town. Okay. Those women are disgusting human beings. I cannot believe that corporate even lets these women represent them in this town. But he was so very kind to bring brand new baseball bats, brand new, to the team. And he only brought 2. And then my friend Travis, who I want to thank, he basically called me and he goes, hey, you and Garrett keep one of those bats and then give the other one away. And Garrett goes, Dad, I don't need a bat. He goes, you know who does? And then he gave me the name. And I said, you're right. Garrett did not go, I want that new bat. Yeah. Right? And, well, they gave it to me. Garrett goes, I just got a new bat. And so-and-so doesn't have one. Can we give it to him? And I was so very proud that Garrett thinks that way. And I encourage it, and Renae and I have always tried to encourage that. I mean, when we do a toy, what do we call it? The where we go in and we basically go through all the toys and...
when we clear out our stuff to donate.
And then Renae and I make the kids take those toys to either a daycare or to somebody that needs them or somebody else, but we also make the kids part of it.
Yeah.
Like we tell them, like, hey, we need to give these toys to somebody that could use them, that needs them, that would appreciate them, right? Yeah. So I was really proud of Garrett the other day for saying, I don't need the bat, Dad.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of kids would have been like, hell yeah. Or they would have gone, give me the new one, I'll give away my other one.
Yeah.
Right. And which is crazy because, Garrett did that for a kid on the team that treated us horrible. And that family, Garrett gave that kid a bat and that family smoked us too. And it's crazy to think that, here we were being super generous and donating this bat to this kid. And the family knew we did that and they still completely treated us like shit.
Yeah.
And they're from our hometown, which is really heartbreaking. But let's wrap it up. Brian,
I was going to say, but I think you were asking Rick, like the cost of a gift, the value of a gift.
Yeah. Like it's $20. Like, would you ever buy another kid $100 gift?
Yes.
Yes. It
150?
Depends on the kid.
It depends on the kid. Okay. And it depends, honestly, even like more than the kid, it depends on our relationship with that family.
But it's also super scary, Rick, because, I'm one of the most, I love being generous. And I love sharing my wealth, my things. And there is a line. And it's scary because I want to give out of the kindness of my heart, But then there's people that turn it into, oh, they're showing off, right? So, for example, I'm very strategic about those things. That kid that absolutely needed that bat, I did not. I gave it to his dad, and I told his dad, I said, give this bat to your kid from you. You don't even have to say that it's from me, Garrett, or my friend Travis. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you want to say, hey, son, I got you this bat, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Because that's the other scary part, right? Is I don't want to give a kid something that the dad would look at me and go, dude, you're out giving me.
I was going to say, it's like, yeah, that's why I say it depends on our relationship with the family as to what is appropriate and what isn't. And, because I think we talked about getting someone a very expensive birthday gift that was a kid and decided that it wasn't appropriate. We wanted to do it out of the kindness of our heart because it was something we thought they really needed and it would be useful, but ultimately decided that it was inappropriate for that to come from us. So,
and
we've
it's
done
hard
that too.
because the sad part is that I never thought like that. I just give to give, and I don't care the price, and I just give because I see this kid and I go, okay, that kid needs this, or man, I bet they'd really appreciate this, or I bet they'd want this. And unfortunately, I'm at a point in my life where I don't have to really look at the price. I just want to give it to that kid. But now I have to be more thoughtful because, you get in those situations where they go, oh, the damn Trevinos are showing off.
But also,
Right?
we don't want Garrett to be invited to parties because people think, oh, the Trevinos are Garrett. We're going to get an awesome, this like stupid awesome gift from Garrett because the Trevinos want to show off and give a big gift.
Well, but it's like Easter, right? I mean, the golden egg was not a cheap golden egg.
Yeah.
The silver egg was not a cheap silver egg, but we do that because it gets the kids so fired up.
Yeah.
It's not about the gift; it's about getting the kids fired up. Right?
Yeah.
And Rick, when you come to our Easter party, I mean, I'm sure that there's people at our Easter party that are thinking, oh, fuck, the Trevinos are showing off again.
I mean,
I hope not.
Not at our Easter
Yeah,
party.
I don't.
We try to
think
be
so.
very selective, right?
Yeah.
You're selective, but it's also everything that you guys have done was for other people. It's not. It's like at no point do I be like, oh, you guys made this incredible fish fry to show off. It was like, oh, we all enjoy it, so let's have it, Or you can go down the list. Like everyone else is having such a good time. I don't know. I can't imagine that. So maybe that's just me, but I know Brian was saying that you guys were showing off. So
Well, I mean, but we go back to that, the Gabriel Iglesias party. Gabe was so generous at that party,
Yeah.
and I looked around and I was like, what a guy to do this for all his friends.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I will never forget. It's something that I will for sure remember forever. And I mean, dude, my son came home with Build-A-Bears.
Yeah. Well, it's like when People wrote, I don't know if it was People or what magazine, but when he threw a birthday party for the Chihuahuas or one of the Chihuahuas or something. And people were talking about, oh, can you believe he spent this much money on a birthday party for his dog? And it's like, come on, you guys. It was not a birthday party for his dog. It was an excuse to throw a party for people he loves and get them all together and celebrate and show them he cares and be generous,
Also a comedian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
But I will not change. We have had people in our lives that very clearly hate us for being us, and that comes from jealousy, and we've dealt with a lot of that, unfortunately. And I was in shock to deal with it in New Braunfels. As a Texan, I did not see that coming. In California, I dealt with a lot of it, and it was kind of second nature over there.
Yeah.
The keeping up with the Joneses and the
I was going to say, I think it happens everywhere. The keeping up with the Joneses is a phrase because it happens everywhere. It's just
And
I
moving-
aren't thinking about keeping
and
up with the
moving
Joneses.
here, I did not expect to have people that I thought were close to me be jealous of me, my kids, my family. It really broke my heart. And Renae and I have talked about in the past, like, we're not going to change. we're going to continue to be who we are. We're going to continue to raise money for CASA.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to raise money for veterans. We're going to continue to open the barn doors and our bar in the back for events and cool things. We're going to keep doing that. And the people that see us for us and see who we really are, they'll continue to hang around. And the people that don't want to hang around, we won't invite them.
But we also hope that we're attracting people like us.
Yep.
And shedding people who aren't like us.
I'm the type, man, I get fired up, man. I love people being successful.
Yeah.
You know, and not to brag about my friend Rick, but, you know, Rick, when you were able to do what you did with your company, man, it motivates me. Man, it makes me happy for you. And it makes me excited. And I go, man, like, I want to be a part of something like that. You know? And it's fuel for my fire.
Yeah.
In a positive way, you know, and hopefully raising our kids to be the same way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you said it the best. You said you know, when you talk to our kids, because we've had issues at school, you know, find friends that fan your flames.
I'm sure I didn't. I took it from someone. I don't know if it was Mel Robbins or who I got it from, but the idea that your little spirit is your light. And you find a friend who isn't going to blow out your light, but who's going to fan your flame and encourage you. And we need to be the same kind of friend.
Yeah, I always tell people, look, I will start the fire, and I will keep you warm, but I don't expect you to bring anything. But could you bring a stem, a stick, something? Right? You know what I mean? What do you bring to the buffet? Right? So great episode. We absolutely missed you, Rick. We missed Brian too last week. I'm glad Brian came to hang out with us today. But we are out of here. Coastal Bend Auto Group, Aztec Chevrolet. Again, the best human beings. If you're in Texas, they will deliver the car. They'll match any price. So please give them a shot. Go say hi to those boys for me. And then we are, it's going to get kind of tricky because we have Europe.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to do a podcast before that, but we're going to figure it out. We will be coming to Europe. We're so excited to be coming to Europe. SteveTrevino.com. Just click on the Europe. We are literally running out of sizes at Rao. And we are doing our very best to get more. So RaoWestern.com. Pick Cherries. And of course, I talked about Old Salt Coffee. Yes. So we love you guys so very much. Thank you. And we'll see you next time.